you are a man of strength, but you're also a man of peace. And the fact that you are now also successful in getting this ceasefire done between Israel and Iran, I really want to commend you for that.
Thank you very much.
And I think this is important for the whole world.
Now, if this ceasefire takes effect or it remains in effect, that will be a very strong positive for the whole region, indeed for the whole world. So if this holds, that will be an unmitigated positive.
What do you say to your conference that's calling for impeachment here?
No, that's a big threshold to cross, I would say to them. That don't be. Yes, it's probably wrong for the president not to come to Congress, but let's just change that.
Okay, first that was the NATO Secretary General telling President Trump at the NATO summit he's a, quote, man of strength and peace in getting the ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Pakistan wants to nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize for doing that with Pakistan and India. And that was Democrat Adam Schiff saying Trump's ceasefire is, quote, positive for the entire world. Nancy Pelosi says no to AOC and Al Green's impeachment threat over the strikes on Iran. In fact, Nancy Pelosi joined 128 Democrats saying no to that impeachment push. Other Democrats voting no include Jamie Raskin, Hakeem Jeffries, Steny Hoyer, Jim Clyburn, Debbie Dingell, Dan Goldman, and former DNC chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Let's bring in from House Oversight Congressman Brandon Gill. Congressman, always a pleasure to see you again. Why do you think Democrats on the other side of the aisle are backing off of attacking Trump here?
You know, I think that Trump was so right here, and thank you for having me on, that they know they can't attack him. Look, this was a total paradigm shift for American foreign policy. The president came in, he clearly defined an American interest. He negotiated aggressively to pursue that interest and, as a measure of last resort, used overwhelming American force to get what we needed. And now he's pursuing peace. And as we can see, it looks like this ceasefire is holding, that this is extremely successful. This is something that congressmen and Americans on both sides of the aisle should support.
Okay, so Democrats have been going from claiming there's a constitutional crisis to some Democrats sounding, the far left Democrats sounding like they were defending Iran. What do they stand for?
You know, Democrats stand for mass illegal immigration. They stand for open borders. They stand for men and women's bathrooms. And on some foreign policy issues, they seem to stand for whoever is against the United States. That's a problem, but the American people can see through it. They can see how successful this administration has been, and they support the president. That's why he's polling so well right now.
Okay. Let's please get your reaction to John Bolton saying Barack Obama's deal with Iran was a huge mistake historically. And you're going to hear GOP Congressman Mike Turner calling Obama's deal a, quote, fake, phony nuclear agreement. Watch this.
The 2015 deal that Obama struck was a huge mistake. The Iranians never should have been allowed to enrich uranium. People don't understand that enriching uranium to reactor-grade levels is 70% of the work to enriching it to weapons-grade levels. We do not license nuclear technology to our best allies unless they pledge not to have uranium enrichment. And yet we allowed it for the Iranians.
And I don't mean Obama-style JCPOA where they had a fake nuclear agreement where they're going to continue to enrich. They must now come to the table and say, we're going to give up our nuclear ambitions and we're going to abandon those nuclear ambitions.
So we don't even allow that enrichment for our U.S. allies. But why did Barack Obama and Joe Biden tolerate it and let it happen with Iran? I mean, the Wall Street Journal, Karen Elliott House, says Trump has restored U.S. deterrence and credibility in the Middle East.
That's right. Democrats have pursued a foreign policy of American weakness for far too long. They've said that we are going to allow our enemies to enrich uranium to degrees that will allow them to have a nuclear weapon. President Trump said no more. He said, we're going to end this program. You're going to end it. And if you don't, we will.
All right. Congressman Brandon Gill, great to see you. Thank you so much.